Yo, what's going on, guys? Jay here today, and I got a very special review in store for y'all today. We are going to be talking about Guts by Olivia Rodrigo. Guts is the sophomore album from the 20-year-old pop star who took the world by storm with her debut album Sour, which she dropped in 2021. And to be honest with you guys, Olivia Rodrigo makes some genuinely great pop music, is one of the actual best artists in the mainstream, and she is also a personal favorite artist of mine. Sour is a great album, and I was really excited for Guts, and I won't get too deep into it right now, but she followed it up quite well. All American Bitch is an anthemic intro to the album with a lot of pop punk grit. It feels very reminiscent of Brutal because of the hard and angry energy she's bringing to the track, which was the intro to the aforementioned Sour. The way the chorus and the drums and the guitar progress throughout the track is awesome, and it makes it feel like a super, again, high energy, but a super in-your-face intro. She further makes this known with her full-on screaming at the back end of the track list. But before the song is over, we do get a nice switch to a very whimsical and tranquil guitar riff. And here Olivia is giving you some of her affirmation. She's telling you how kind she is and she's sexy when she's crying. All this great energy. It's a good foil to the majority of the song, which is very negative and in your face. We now get this moment of calm relaxation where Olivia is giving you just a lot of positive energy, which again is a great contrast to what she was bringing through on the first half of the song. Bad Idea Right was the second single Olivia released in anticipation of the album, and to be honest, at first I was not a fan. I found the chorus to be annoying. It has a very Home Depot-ass drum pattern, but over time this track has been a solid grower for me, to be honest. This track continues the pop punk aesthetic with a very familiar instrumental and another in-your-face high energy Olivia performance here, where she is, of course, singing about Lincoln with her ex, and a little risky text, and about that risky scenario and everything that comes with it. She goes through a lot of different emotions in this track and expresses them in a very digestible way, the constant back and forth of it, being a bad idea, right, but also not that big of a deal. The track progresses very well here, and the chorus, whenever it hits, always feels like a nice release for the song, like the tension throughout the song is built up, and on that chorus, Olivia is singing her heart out, and it is where all of that tension pays off. We also get a lot of sarcastic and snarky writing on this track and throughout the album, which I really enjoy from Olivia. I think it matches this more in-your-face, again, like punky, kind of anti-establishment energy that Olivia is bringing. Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl has some great singing from Olivia, as we've come to expect, as well as some distortion effects on her voice, which I really come to enjoy, and I thought it gave, again, that rough around the edges. As much as I enjoy Olivia's performances on this track, the actual instrumental itself is so corny. It gives me big 2014 vibes. I wish I could explain that to you, but that just feels like some generic ass pop punk or radio music that Olivia is singing over. It sounds like a deep cut from the NHL 14 soundtrack. I mean, that's the vibes I'm getting. And again, Olivia does fine here. I enjoy her performance. Her singing is great, like I said. And contributing to even more of the issues I have with the song, at the end of it, when Olivia is singing the chorus, she says, "I can't even make up a third line," and then begins to mumble into the mic. And this was just painfully cringe and annoying. Ballad of a Homeschool Girl overall is a pretty generic and not great track that Liv does make special and bring a lot of energy to. Making the Bed is a very dynamic track with some hard-hitting synths and a chorus that will absolutely get you in your feelings. This is a deeper cut from Olivia, with her singing about how she's not really happy with where she's at, singing about blaming others for her issues in her life, but realizing that ultimately she's accepting her reality and her responsibilities here, letting it set in that she can't blame everyone for everything. And this is definitely one of the harder emotional beats on the record. It's a great song, though I do feel it is missing a certain oomph, a certain, wow factor that would propel this to being one of the best songs on the album. Logical is another very emotional track that features some of Olivia's best vocals. They are so delicate here. I love the way she's extending her voice throughout the song. The instrumental is very skeletal and minimalist, with just a guitar twanging in the background, really letting Olivia's profound vocals dominate the track. And yeah, here she's singing about being gaslit so badly by a man that she was thinking 2 + 2 = 5, and obviously, of course, it's a metaphor in the song. The most viral, or one of the most viral moments from the record, I should say, I was seeing that everywhere, But I mean, yeah, you do get some other cliches on the chorus where you get Olivia saying, "You had me thinking 2 + 2 = 5. You're the love of my life." Just off of that, you know exactly the type of bag that Olivia is getting in onto this track. And yeah, this is easily one of the best written songs on the album, and it is bookended by some stunning vocals from Olivia on the outro. Get Him Back is another very sonically cliche song on the album, and this is the pretty typical fuck my ex, radio friendly anthem that isn't downright terrible or even downright bad, to be honest, but is one of the generally weaker moments on the album. Love is Embarrassing is a ballad with very similar content, hating on the ex vibes from Olivia. It brings back the punk rock aesthetics and vocal distortions that Olivia was utilizing at the beginning of the album. Love is Embarrassing has easily one of the best choruses on the album, some great vocal inflections from Olivia, and a pretty amazing track here on Guts. Now, I want to talk about the best track on the album, the lead single for Guts. We're talking about Vampire. This track, to me, is very reminiscent of Driver's License in terms of the content matter here, in terms of the progression of the instrumental. But that is nothing against Olivia or this song, because she did it so excellent here. It doesn't feel exactly like she's replicating that sound or trying to make a copy of it. It's just borrowing the aesthetics, and that's why it works perfectly here. Like I said, the progression of the instrumental is amazing. The way Olivia gets so much more loud, her range gets even further as the song goes, as you could hear her putting more emotion and more passion into her singing. And yeah, this is a very personal track to me and easily one of my favorites on the record. Moving on to The Grudge, this is a very close second in terms of being the best track on the album. And this is a amazing return to the piano-led heartbreak ballads from Olivia that I love most from her. She has the relatable bars here about winning arguments in the shower as she absolutely tears into whichever one of her exes she's singing about this time, if that dude's even real. And yeah, this has Olivia's best singing on the album. It is another deeply personal cut from her. Another one of the more popular tracks, I'd say, from what I've seen, and there are no disagreements there. The Grudge is amazing. We get to the outro, Teenage Dream, which is another piano-dominant banger. Here we get Olivia detailing her fears of peaking too young, as well as her contemplating and possibly regretting her fame in the future. I'd imagine it is tough to be a global superstar at 20 to the degree that she is. And yeah, here we see her delving through some of her insecurities and anxieties surrounding that. Overall, Guts was and when it first came out, I feel it was a pretty polarizing album. A lot of people loving it, a lot of people hating it. And at first, I was on the not hating it side, but I was on the Sour's way better than this. And Sour is still better, guys. I'm going to keep it a buck. But, no, this is an amazing album still. Guts is really great. I loved, except for the super cliche and generic ones, of course. But other than those couple of songs, I loved Olivia experimenting with some more pop punk vibes here, some more heavy guitar type of tracks, some more screaming, some more attitude from Olivia. I found those to be the major highlights, of course, as well as the super dramatic heartbreak anthems that she does. Those are my favorite type of tracks from her. We get a handful of good ones here. Of course, you do have, the dips in qualities like I was talking about, the generic, the radio friendly, the cheesy, but it's all right because I feel like there was a lot of leveling up for Olivia in terms of her songwriting overall. Like, instrumentally, there's not too much of a gap between here and Sour. And vocally, Olivia is an amazing singer regardless, but in terms of songwriting, there were some tracks here definitely on the weaker side, but I feel like she is doing a good job of being more personal, bringing more content matter to her tracks that is more diversified. There is still a lot of, like I said, fuck my ex type content and very similar stuff to that we also got on Sour, but you also get what I was talking about on Teenage Dream, her contemplating the fame. And I really do love this more honest writing style from Olivia, as well as I feel like she lets her personality shine through a little bit more on this record. I feel like Sour, may have been kept a little more clean for the radios. This was her big debut, but I feel like here Olivia is letting herself shine through, letting a lot of her, some anger she may have and some worry she may have come through in her music, and I thought that was awesome. Like I said, one of the better albums I've heard this year for sure, definitely up there. Not better than Sour, but still, Olivia did it again with Guts. 8 out of 10 for me. Well, I know this isn't in my expected wheelhouse, of course, the channel's talking hip-hop, if you can't see, but Olivia Rodrigo is one of my favorite artists. She's super popular. I know a lot of people who love her. I don't think Olivia is one of those artists that transcends, genres in terms of her audience. She is just a superstar like that. Anybody can rock out to some Olivia. And I wanted to talk about an album that, I personally loved and I think is culturally important, significant to this year's music scene. But yeah, I appreciate you guys who tuned in. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Peace.